Love your enemies. The power of forgiveness and love. What if the hardest thing you're asked to do is also the most powerful? Imagine standing face to face with someone who's hurt you, betrayed you, slandered you, broken you, and choosing to love them anyway. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what Jesus calls us to in Matthew 5:44. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. It's radical. It's countercultural. And over the next 30 minutes, we're going to unpack why this command isn't just a challenge, it's a lifeline, a way to live differently in a world that thrives on hate. Through a story of forgiveness that changed everything, we'll see how love can heal, transform, and set us free. So let's step into this together. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine you're standing in a crowd, fists clenched, heart pounding. Someone's just cut you deep. Maybe it's a friend who stabbed you in the back, a coworker who stole your idea, or a stranger whose words still sting like salt in a wound. What's your move? Curse them out? Plot revenge? Walk away and let the bitterness simmer? That's the rhythm of the world we live in, a drumbeat of payback, where hate's the easy road and love feels like a foreign language. You felt it, right? That fire in your chest that says, they don't deserve my mercy. Now picture this. Jesus steps into that crowd. The air's thick with tension, Pharisees sneering, Roman soldiers flexing power, a mob ready to stone someone. And he says something that stops everyone cold. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Matthew 5:44. Love them, the ones who hate you, the ones who'd spit in your face, or worse. It's not a suggestion, it's a command, and it lands like a thunderclap. Why would he ask that? What kind of strength does it take to look evil in the eye and choose love instead of a fist? Let's rewind to David for a clue. King Saul's chasing him, jealous, unhinged, hurling spears and death threats. David's on the run, ducking into caves, dirt under his nails, heart racing. One night in 1 Samuel 24, he's got Saul dead to rights, sleeping, vulnerable, a sword's reach away. His men whisper, "Do it, end him." Every instinct screams yes, justice, survival, payback. But David stops. He cuts a piece of Saul's robe, not his throat, and walks away. Why? Because God had planted something wild in him, a call to be different, to love, not hate, even when hate made sense. That's where this gets real for us. We're not wired for this. Scroll X or flip on the news and it's a grudge fest. Someone wrongs you and the world cheers, get even. But Jesus flips the script. He says, be different. Why? Because that's how God loves. Romans 5:10 hits hard. When we were God's enemies, we were reconciled to him through the death of his son. Think about that. We were the rebels, the spear throwers, and he didn't smite us. He died for us. That's the DNA of this call. Love that defies logic, love that rewrites the rules. So here's the question hanging in the air. What if loving your enemy isn't just crazy? What if it's the most powerful thing you could do? What if it's not about them deserving it, but about you becoming something more? David didn't just spare Saul, he showed us a glimpse of God's heart. Jesus didn't just preach this, he lived it, praying for the soldiers nailing him to the cross. And you? You're invited into that same wild, world-shaking love. But it's not free. It costs something. What does it cost? And what does it unlock? That's where we're going next. Stick with me. This gets deep. Let's lean into this. Loving your enemies isn't a warm fuzzy. It's a gut punch. It's standing at the edge of a cliff, wind howling, staring down a choice that feels like it might break you. Forgiveness? It costs something. It's not a quick, I'm over it shrug. It's a wrestle, a tearing open of wounds you'd rather keep buried. Picture yourself in a room, face to face with the one who hurt you most. Your throat tightens, your palms sweat, every nerve screams, they don't deserve this. And you're right, they don't. But here's the twist. Forgiveness isn't about what they deserve. It's about what God's doing in you and through you. Take Corrie ten Boom. If anyone had a reason to hate, it was her. World War II, Holland under Nazi boots. Her family hid Jews in a secret room, risking everything. They got caught. Corrie and her sister Betsy were hauled to Ravensbrück, a death camp. Barbed wire, starvation, cruelty. Betsy died there, whispering forgiveness with her last breaths. Corrie survived barely, carrying scars no one could see. Years later, 1947, she's speaking at a Munich church about God's grace. The crowd thins out and a man steps forward, gray coat, outstretched hand, a smile that chills her. She knows that face. He's a guard from Ravensbrück, cold eyes, barking orders, a whip in his hand. He says, "I'm a Christian now, Fräulein. I've asked God's forgiveness. Will you forgive me?" Time stops. Her blood turns to ice. She sees Betsy's gaunt face, hears the screams of that camp. Her heart roars, "No, never. She's human. Rage is her right." But then Matthew 5:44 flickers in her mind. Love your enemies. She can't. Her arm won't move. So she prays, desperate, honest. "Jesus, I can't forgive him. You do it through me." She lifts her hand, wooden, shaking, and as their fingers touch, something cracks open. A current of warmth, not hers, floods her. Tears spill. She doesn't just forgive, she feels God's love for this man, this monster turned brother. Corrie wrote, "It was like a dam broke. I realized forgiveness isn't an emotion, it's a choice. And when I chose it, God supplied the power." That's the cost. Your pride, your right to hate, your grip on justice. But the power, it's seismic. Look at Jesus on the cross. Nails tearing flesh, crowd jeering, soldiers gambling for his clothes. Luke 23:34 captures it. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." He's dying, and he's praying for them. His killers. That's not weakness, that's strength no army could match. It's love that shatters chains, not just theirs, but ours. Corrie didn't just free that guard, she unshackled herself from hate's prison. Jesus didn't just save his enemies, he rewrote the world's story. So what about you? Who's that face in your mind right now, the one you'd rather curse than bless? Forgiveness doesn't mean the pain vanishes, it means you hand it to God and say, "Take this, make it something new." It's costly, yes. You might tremble, sob, fight every step. But what if that choice doesn't just heal you? What if it changes them too? What if it starts a miracle you can't even imagine? That's where we're headed next. A story of love so wild it turns enemies into family. Stay with me. This is where it gets good. Now let's dive into a story, a miracle of forgiveness that ripples out. Meet James. I heard about him from a friend, and his life reads like a redemption novel. James grew up rough, Southside Chicago, a neighborhood where trust was a luxury. At 17, he joined a gang. One night, a rival crew ambushed them. Shots fired. James's best friend Malik didn't make it. The shooter, a kid named Dion. James burned with rage. For years, he carried that hate like a badge, vowing revenge if he ever saw Dion again. Fast forward a decade. James had turned his life around, left the streets, found faith, started mentoring kids. One day, at a community event, he saw him. Dion, older, quieter, helping set up chairs. James's blood boiled. He wanted to walk away, but something stopped him. A verse he'd read that morning echoed, "Love your enemies." He clenched his jaw, prayed, "God, I can't do this alone." Then he walked over. "You're Dion, right?" Dion nodded, eyes wary. James said, "You killed Malik. I hated you for it." Dion's face fell, but James kept going. "I'm trying to follow Jesus now, and he says I've got to forgive you." Silence. Then Dion broke. "I live with that every day," he said, voice cracking. "I'm sorry." They talked, raw, messy, real. James didn't just forgive. He invited Dion to his mentorship group. Months later, Dion was off drugs, working, mentoring kids himself. James says, "I thought forgiving him was for him, but it saved me too, and now it's saving others." That's love's miracle. It doesn't just heal the giver, it changes the receiver, then spills over. So what does this mean for us? Loving your enemy isn't a one-time event, it's a way of life. It's choosing to pray for the coworker who stabbed you in the back, to bless the friend who ghosted you. It's hard, sometimes it feels like tearing your heart open, but Jesus didn't call us to easy, He called us to different. In Luke 6:35, He says, "Love your enemies, and your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High." It's not just about them, it's about becoming who God made you to be. James didn't win Dion back with hate. He did it with love. Corey didn't conquer her past with bitterness. She did it with grace. That's the strength we're after, a love that defies the world's rules and writes a new story. Here's your challenge. Who's your enemy today? Maybe it's someone who hurt you years ago, or someone you'll see tomorrow. Take a moment after this. Write their name down. Pray for them. Not a fake, bless them, I guess, prayer, a real one. God, show them your love through me. Then act, smile, speak kindly, let go. It won't feel good at first, but it'll grow into something holy. Because love your enemies, it's not just words, it's power, it's freedom, it's how we shine in a dark world. So let's dare to try.